Despite having visited India more than 10 times, we'd somehow never made it to West Bengal. So recently, we spent a couple of weeks diving into everything this region has to offer. From the electric energy of Durga Puja celebrations to the quiet charm of Bengal's villages. From the serene beauty of the Sundarbans to Kolkata's timeless allure at sunrise. And of course, eating our way through every stop, this is our journey through the heart of West Bengal. Hello from Kolkata! We have just flown here to experience one of the world's biggest festivals, Durga Puja. Today is Ashtami, the 9th night, and we're spending the morning on our own doing some pandal hopping in South Kolkata. And then this afternoon we're going to join up with Soham from Calcutta Capsule to see some of the pandals in the northern part of Kolkata. We have no idea what to expect, but we are so excited. By the way, in case you're new here, we're Steph and Pete, and we travel nearly full-time with our almost 5-year-old son, Hayes. His birthday's tomorrow. And India is our absolute favorite place in the world to travel. We were last here for a couple of months in 2023, and we actually lived in Mumbai back in 2013. And now that we're based in Chiang Mai, Thailand, we were tempted by the short flight to Calcutta for Hayes' fall break, and then extra excited when we heard that it was Durga Puja.
I didn't even know what Durga Puja was a couple of weeks ago.
Durga Puja is one of the biggest festivals in India, especially here in Calcutta. It's a celebration of the goddess Durga and symbolizes the triumph of good over evil. The festival lasts for 10 days, with the last few being the most exciting. Durga Puja isn't just a religious celebration. It's more like a massive citywide display of public art. The streets are alive with art, lights, music, and food, bringing together people from all walks of life to celebrate.
This is amazing. Gosh, look at the size of it. There's like over 3,000 of these. You realize that?
Many of the over 4,000 pandals in Kolkata take innovative approaches, and the first we saw was a commentary on how, in the process of allowing technology to engulf our lives and fulfill our material needs, we destroy nature.
I'm really glad we're seeing this now, which is around midday, because there's no crowds. It's really quiet. So it's been a nice sort of like easy entry into pandal hopping that we're going to be doing, because tonight I'm envision it being a lot busier.
We don't have much of a plan before we meet up with Soham as far as pandal hopping goes. I did plot a bunch on a Google map. I think some people are like really strategic. I plotted a bunch on a Google map. We just went to see one of those, but now we're kind of just going to wander in whatever we see on the way to the next map point.
Pandal number 2 or number 3. Oh, it's number 3. Losing track already.
Our next pandal was another conceptual one. This one, as far as I understand, embodied the spirit of savings and is based on a Bengali cash box that's typically made of earthenware. So this one was covered in thousands of pots.
Lunch.
As much as India is my happy place, it's really nice to come have lunch with some air conditioning. I always forget how hot it is. Frankly, India is one of the most challenging destinations we've traveled to with Hayes. When we came here for the first time with him, we landed in Delhi in November when the air quality is really poor, and he developed this horrible cough. Now that we're more settled in Chiang Mai, we're considering how we manage our health on the road a little bit differently, which is why we're intrigued with Safety Wing's new Nomad Health. It differs from their Nomad Insurance, which we've had for over 3 years, in that it offers the flexibility to visit a doctor for non-emergencies, not just emergencies. It covers you in over 175 countries with no deductible for most visits except in the US, and it could be a game changer for a family like ours.
That's very, very good. We're at a restaurant here and we're eating a delicious meal, and you could all that. It's very good. And look what I have on this plate. That is good, that's good. Put some of that in here. And this is salty. Let me taste it. Good. So, we have water in these golden cups, golden spoons, golden cups, golden bowls. And this bread is nice. This is nice too.
I don't know how I could follow that, but if I could just say one more thing about Safety Wing. If you are considering long-term travel like us, Nomad Health could be a really good option. It has comprehensive benefits, everything from hospital stays to mental health support, even maternity care. You can add dental and vision, and the claims process is super quick and easy. It takes no more than 14 days. It's even quicker on the Nomad insurance we're on. Safety Wing has been a long-time partner of ours, and I always say, and I mean it, their customer support is top-notch. So if you're interested, there's a link in our description. It's a short questionnaire survey type thing to see if you would be a good fit. You don't have to give credit card details. It's literally just to see if maybe this is a good option for you. So I highly encourage you to check that out. And now instead of waving around my food, I'm gonna go enjoy eating it. And I'm so happy that India seems to be all of our happy places. So I'm excited to be here.
After a short lunch coma, it was time to go meet up with an expert to see if he could shed some light to our Durga Puja experience. We were headed to meet Soham, founder of Calcutta Capsule, whose mission is to help you fall in love with Kolkata and experience it like a local.
We met up with Soham for the afternoon, and this tour began with a fresh kati roll. It's Pete's favorite.
It's already the best tour I've ever been on because it started off with that amazing kati roll. That's like, I don't think I realized how much I love kati rolls. And they're from here, Calcutta.
Soham explained that the first pandal we visited was one of the first in the city and actually started as a gym, but then later used Durga Puja as a front to continue to train freedom fighters of the Indian independence movement.
This pandal that we are going to, it started in 1918. And it was one of the first ones that broke the norm of Durga Puja being celebrated by elite families to coming down on the streets where the public started coming together to pool in money, but it was actually a facade behind which all the freedom fighters got together and started doing things to motivate the youth and train the youth.
It's like Jaipur, isn't it?
Absolutely wild that these are temporary. Soham said, and I read that there's 4,000 of these. I think we've said that a few times. But the festival, it's a $3.2 billion. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
$1 billion festival. Like, it's so significant. And I had essentially never heard of it, which shows my ignorance. But it's like, now that we're here, it feels like, why wouldn't we have made this like a bucket list India experience before?
Okay, so why are we celebrating Durga anyway? Here's the story in a nutshell. There was once a demon who wanted to rule the world. He had asked for a special gift from the gods, and that was to not be able to be killed by a man. But Durga was not a man. Durga is a woman created by combining the best parts of all of the gods and goddesses so that she'd be strong enough to defeat him, which she did. And that's why we're celebrating.
It looks so permanent outside. It's hard to believe they build them just for this, but then when you come around to the back, you can like see how temporary it is. What's going on?
The gun one.
This isn't usually allowed, the gun games, but Soham said that when he did Durga Puja with his dad, he said it wasn't Durga Puja if you weren't playing games, and then suggested we all try this one, so. Cultural exception.
Oh, yes!
Would you like to swap that safety pins? The safety pins are not very safe there, so
Ask him if you can change it.
The next pandal was near Kumartuli, the neighborhood where the idols are made.
this is their brainchild. A lot of the artists are involved in what they do here. So every year they make a very artistic, out-of-the-box thing.
And Soham was just telling us how sometimes the demon is not the same demon. They'll use it as an artistic statement or whatever. And this one is a poem that has to do with farmer hunger.
And hunger in terms of farmers' hunger. The kind of farmers' lives that Indian farmers have in terms of growing so much of food for the entire country. But yet at the end of the year, every time they are hungry, they go hungry, their children are not fed.
I had read that some of them are quite political, but it's cool to see how the holiday has taken on like so many different things.
It's crazy. It's only like 4:20, and these are like already starting to get busy. And then actually they like crowd control them, which is really good. So it's not just like a massive group.
That was really powerful, but also
Did you like the pandal?
sauna in these pandals.
Yeah, good, right?
The reason I love Soham's tour, but also a lot of tours in India, is that even if they're not food tours, there's like so many stops for food. So we're stopping for a tender coconut, and every time that Soham says there's like something food related, we just had ice cream Now it's coconut. Hayes' face just like lights up. Because to be honest, he gets a little bit grumpy on these like walking tours with lots of information. So it's good to punctuate it with sugar.
And in his defense, like this is a particularly intense.
It's busy. There's a lot of information. It's very hot. So our number one tip for traveling with kids is just motivate them with sugar.
Including natural sugars like tender coconut.
This pandal was also a themed one and based on a really famous radio show that began airing in 1931 to mark the beginning of Durga Puja.
They've gone down the route of nostalgia. So, talking in terms of the festival, the entire story that I narrated about the goddess comes from a particular book called the Markandeya Puran.
Soham explained that it's extremely common for families in Calcutta, to this day, to tune into the radio at 4 a.m. on the first day of the holiday and listen to this program that describes the battle between the goddess Durga and the demon king. It was performed live up until the 1960s, but is still extremely popular today.
This is not for the faint-hearted because it is a sea of people. But it's such an experience. They're just incredible. Like everyone is so unique and different. This one looks even better inside than it does outside.
As you enter each pandal, you feel the heat rise as if you've just stepped into a sauna. With the adrenaline of experiencing something you barely knew about last week, but for millions of people is the most exciting 10 days of the year, quickly takes over and you forget you're drenched in sweat.
There's no way we could have done this on our own and had the same experience. We would have given up like 30 minutes into it.
Before visiting our next pandal, we walked through Kumartuli, which is the neighborhood where they make idols, not just for Durga Puja, but for all other holidays too. The entire neighborhood is devoted to this craft, and a fun fact we learned is that all of the idols are air-dried, since after most holidays, they are submerged into the river.
This is my favorite part of the tour. We've just like come off one of these little side roads, and we're seeing all these little idols being made, painted, learning about them. There's no one else around as well, so it's just like really chill. And just fascinating.
To conclude our walk through Kumartuli, Soham gifted us a demon head.
This does not have to be a demon head. You can paint it, you can put it up on the wall, name it, whatever value you assign to it, it becomes that. Because most of the stories that I just explained or narrated about Durga and Kali, they're not to be taken literally, but to be understood as metaphors or analogies to life. When I said Durga has to kill a demon that could change shape, it means that the problems in our life could come in any shape and size. When I said that Kali has to kill a demon that could multiply, I meant that the problems in our life could multiply and we have to deal with them in the way that we have to. But for now, let it remind you to kill all the demons in your life, just like Kali. But the crux of Hinduism lies not in the answers, but in the questions that it gives you.
Following the peace, quiet, and artistic calmness of Kumartuli, we were quickly thrust back into the chaos and encountered an intersection rivaling the busiest I've ever experienced, complete with a dozen overzealous traffic cops and a single string to hold us back.
Wow.
Guys, we stop at the left corner, okay?
Okay.
But fear not, once we emerged from the crowd, we were rewarded with pani puri, or rather, the Bengali version known as pushka.
What you've got to do is put it entirely in your mouth and let it explode with all the flavors that there is.
Full inside.
So guys, demo. Well done. Well done.
I said something earlier about the first chai in India, but really it's the first, I'll say puchka because we're in Calcutta, but the first pani puri in India is like such a special moment. It's really good.
How is it, guys? How's
Mine's
the taste?
Bellies full of puchka, we walked a little further to a famous sweet shop that, due to the holiday, was fresh out of their famous rasgulla. Hayes didn't mind and quickly demanded another option.
What do you think of that? What do you think?
I love that this is still classed as a small one. I mean, it's in the middle of the street. It's absolutely massive.
Pete made a good point at one of the last ones. He was like, can you imagine if you lived in a neighborhood and they were like, we're just going to take a month or longer and put up on this bamboo scaffolding and be under construction for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then for a full 10 days, there's going to be hundreds of people every single night lining up and da-da-da-da. Like in America, they would be like, but where am I going to park? It would just cause such outrage. Oh, so cool. This is a neighborhood one and it's meant just for the community to kind of sit and have a place to relax. And it's smaller.
Iconically, this is the first Durga Puja on the soil of Calcutta that has ever happened.
This location is symbolic of the tumultuous history of colonial rule and was a place where influential families began to forge relationship with the British East India Company after the Battle of Plassey in 1757, notably inviting them to participate in customs such as Durga Puja.
That was a really cool one to finish on. The OG.
Good old British bathroom to finish us up. Seems to be a good city for that.
Rightly so, we always get the good fashion.
Bye guys, bye. Thank you, Hayes. Yes, Hayes, happy birthday in advance, Hayes. Take care. Have a great birthday tomorrow.
India's soul lives in her villages. Look, that quote by Gandhi is so cliche, but if I'm honest, I always think about it whenever we come to India and we go beyond the cities that we love so dearly. That's why we've come to West Bengal. Welcome back, or if you're new here, I'll get you up to speed real quick. I'm Steph, this is Pete. We travel a lot with our son Hayes, who turned 5 right here in this village. We lived in Mumbai for 2 years and India is our favorite place to travel, so we've come to West Bengal for a couple of weeks to see how Durga Puja is celebrated here. We spent Ashtami in Kolkata, and now we are in a village about 150 kilometers northwest of Calcutta called Banabagram.
This is too good.
As for a little more information on where we are and how we got here, back in 2010 and 2011, I studied for my master's in tourism development at London Metropolitan University, and as part of the program through an EU-funded project, back when England was part of the EU, we came to West Bengal to work with an organization called Bangla, who works in a lot of villages in rural West Bengal on culture development and ensuring that old art forms not only survive but can be sustainable and contribute to the improvement of the communities out here. So when we planned to come to Kolkata for Durga Puja, I reached out to Amitabha, who I haven't spoken to in 15 years, and he arranged for us to come visit some of the villages I didn't see on my previous visit to this area. But anyway, Bangla works in a bunch of villages in West Bengal, so as our first stop, we headed to Tepantar Theatre Village to check out their pandal.
Cool.
What was it?
Good question. Don't entirely have a lot of information or answers.
So there's this place that's extremely significant in West Bengal called Santiniketan, and it was founded in 1901 by Rabindranath Tagore, who was a poet and a philosopher. A world university, if you will, focused notably on Indian traditions at a time when British colonialism prevailed. Anyway, it's closed during Durga Puja, which took us a lot longer than it should have to understand. A little bit lost in translation. So now I'm sweaty, hangry, confused, and feeling a lot of parental guilt for spending my son's 5th birthday in a stuffy car in the middle of nowhere. Not the middle of nowhere, but you get what I mean. It was at this point in the day that the control freak in me wanted to know where we were going and how long it was going to take to get there and what the significance was. But I now realize that this isn't a perfectly packaged tour. Bangla isn't a tour company, and the priority isn't tourists. In fact, Amitabh has stressed multiple times that the point is not for these places to become the products of mass tourism. The priority is the communities. He told us one story about this kata embroidery entrepreneur, you'll see her in a bit, who went from making $5 to $6 a day to $100,000 a year, and now that has spurred the construction of a new hub in her community for the kata embroidery, which you'll also see in a bit. Can you hear Hayes' friend calling him, "Hey, let's go play with your friend." Those are precisely the kinds of successes he's interested in, not whether or not I'm comfortable zipping from community to community. But the other important thing to note is that when a meltdown occurs, and I'm not just talking about Hayes, it can usually be solved with one of three things: food, sleep, or sunshine.
Hopefully, this is a problem that food fixes. So yeah, that did the trick. And we got to eat with our hands, which is even better. We then made our way to the next village where we got to see some kata embroidery.
What's ice cream taste like as a 5-year-old? Any long-time viewers out there who are keeping track of how many times I've asked Pete to carry wipes over the last 3 years and how many times he's actually had them?
This road is really out of control.
Somebody was hungry.
I wasn't. Who was hungry?
There are over 2,000 kata embroideries in this village, but since the hub that we were visiting was not going to be inaugurated until next week, none of them were here, so we moved on to one of their homes to admire some of their work.
All is not lost. We found some local artists, and they're going to show us their work. It's also just like fascinating learning how many days these things take. This one's made out of made on pure silk.
It's a much more impressive craft than making YouTube videos. I can't believe that some of those take like weeks or months. They said 1 to 5 months to make. Anyway, in case it's not clear, here in West Bengal, and frankly all over India, there's just an overwhelming number of places with these incredible art forms. So we made our way to the next one.
Can I tell you something, Daddy?
Yeah.
If you wanted to wax and have a massage, I wouldn't do it, because if you wanted to have a massage, who would do it? Not me.
Right.
So who would do it? So that's why I want a sibling. Live from the cow. This is crazy.
This next one was famous for making dokra, which is a metal casting technique that uses the lost wax process. I'm talking about these things as if I totally understand them, just trying my best.
This is Daryopur Dokra Artisan Cooperative, and this is where they make the small idols out of metal casting. And just have a little tour of the village.
The way that they make these is by forming the structures out of wax and then covering them in clay and then melting the wax and pouring in bronze or brass or another non-ferrous metal. See, I said non-ferrous like I knew what it meant.
No, that was good. Big reason for us coming out to this was to see a rural Durga Puja, which we're seeing. But it means that we're missing some of the normal stuff that's going on, like they're making these small metal idols because everyone's off. They're on vacation, they're enjoying the holiday.
So I looked up baul to try to describe what it means. My favorite description was mystical minstrels. They're from this region of India as well as neighboring Bangladesh, and their influence on the culture of the area is considerable and even recognized by UNESCO for its intangible heritage of humanity. This ashram was built several years ago as a place for them to gather, and they also occasionally host groups of students or researchers or curious people like ourselves. You'll see us spend some more time with the bauls in a little bit, but on this evening we had more important things to tend to. Hayes' birthday cake.
Hey.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Where'd he go? Happy birthday, dear Hayes. Happy birthday to you. Go like this. There you go.
Turn the lights on.
When we woke up the next morning, we didn't know what was in store, but when we saw that our mode of transportation on this day was a rickshaw, we knew it was going to be a good day.
I think I'm old enough to drive a rickshaw.
Our first stop was to go show Hayes where his beloved milk comes from, but the real highlight of this visit was the 5 to 6 day old goats who still had their umbilical cords attached.
Now I can show you the baby pink. There's a baby one. How are some of them not connected to the rope? I guess the ones that are not connected to the rope are really, really, really good.
That's the primary reason I like village life. Mommy gonna get mad. I was just saying to Pete, I was getting like, kind of emotional. This is such a cool experience for Hayes. And then I was like, people live like this in Tennessee. Oh my gosh. Not like, you know what I mean? Oh gosh. I don't know. I don't like birds. I don't know what I was trying to say, but it's so cool doing this stuff with him. But I recognize that there's so much in our own backyard that we haven't done.
Next village, we got on lots of tuk-tuks and got fish. Daddy kind of messed up this part, but it's exciting. So they put these nets around the whole lake so the fish don't escape.
These videos would be like a fraction of the time if we just let Hayes tell you what happened. We returned back to the ashram for lunch and a nap, and we woke up to what was a really special afternoon. They had arranged for this tribal puppetry group to come do a performance for us, along with more singing from the bells.
তুমি গিয়েছো ঘুমায়া আমারে আসিবার কথা কইয়া ভগবান করে রায় গিয়েছো ঘুমায়া
Honestly, I don't know what else to say other than this afternoon was absolutely magical and completely lost on Hayes, who made a friend to run around the campus with, so he was totally oblivious to the private performance of a rare art form that we were enjoying. Finally, it was time to conclude Durga Puja.
So last night, we go to this show where they put, at the end of
Durga Puja,
they put Durga in the water and then it dissolves or something. And like sand that dissolves in
Clay?
water.
Clay?
In water and sand at the beach or something. But sea sand is, well, we're not talking about that. Also, there was some fireworks that are really like, and I was so scared, like, and I make the friend that was not scared. Oh, this is cool. I love this.
that was great. Thank you. According to Hindu mythology,
We don't know what's going on, which actually adds to the excitement.
Durga comes to Earth for 10 days to bless her devotees and defeat evil forces. Her departure through this method marks the conclusion of her earthly visit, signifying the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The act of immersing the clay idol in water also reflects a deeper philosophical meaning, of course, reminding the devotees of the impermanence of life. The clay idols dissolving in the water represents the idea that all forms return to nature. This tradition is meant to inspire devotion, humility, and an understanding of the transient nature of life. Whatever the significance, we had been so excited about this for weeks and we couldn't wait to experience it. And wait we did, because after the idols were shifted from the building to the pond's edge, the ceremony actually took quite some time. And if Indians are good at anything, it's time pass. And this evening's particular version of time pass seemed to be setting off handmade fireworks that were quite frankly terrifying.
But good things come to those who wait, and we finally got to see the idols being carried into the water. I think one of my favorite moments was one of the idols was kind of their hand was sticking out of the water and slowly sinking down. It was sort of like, see you next year, baby!
And the guys were like going in to make sure they went to the ground.
What do you say? A hand was sticking out of the water?
Yeah, what was your favorite part of seeing them go in the water?
Sticking the hand up.
So that brings us to right now. It's our final day in Banabagram and we're just relaxing and enjoying the calm village life today before we return back to Calcutta tomorrow. We cannot thank Amitabha and Bangla Natak enough, and words, even as many as we've rambled in this YouTube video, can't describe how special and meaningful this experience has been for our whole family. And while this isn't a tour that I can promote via a simple click the link in the description, I have left a link to Bangladesh down there because they are doing incredible work that is worth reading about. And if you're visiting India or if you live here, we cannot encourage you enough to go beyond the cities, because you know what? Gandhi wasn't wrong.
We've heard that Kolkata is a top-tier food city, and let's be honest, food is the #1 reason we travel.
This is why you travel to India. For food like this.
And just a few days before this trip, the BBC published an article where a famous Kolkata-based chef outlined his favorite street food in the city.
So in this video, we're going to attempt to hit all of his recommendations and then some in one day. We'll be crisscrossing the city in search of patty rolls, cutlets, puchka, and more. So we better get started.
Ba.
Yeah? Okay. Nice to meet you. Let's go.
For our first stop, we were searching for a humble stall in Garia Hot Market where Gita Mashi serves piping plates of kochuri and cholar dal.
I think we're getting closer. It doesn't help that I actually can't pronounce kochuri very well, so I get a lot of blank stares.
We had to enlist some help in finding it, and when we did, we were skeptical we were in the right place, as there was no woman in sight. But like magic, moments later, Gita Mashi arrived, fitting the precise description of her in the article, a smiling woman in a simple cotton sari.
Do you want to try chola dal?
Yes, please.
Chola dal?
Yes, please.
Or ghugni?
Chola dal.
Chola dal.
We already tried this.
We had motivated Hayes with the fact that this stall was near a fish market, always his favorite stop in any city. And while he wasn't particularly patient while we enjoyed our breakfast, where there's fish, there are cats. So he was quickly occupied in the beautiful courtyard next door.
So there's two things he recommended from Gita Mashi's stall. One was the petai paratha with chola dal. He also has ghugni, which became one of our favorites in the village. And then we're going to try the kochuri next. I will say, the way that they prepare paratha is not for the faint-hearted, but my tip is when coming to India and trying street food, get over your American standards of hygiene, because I'm sure it's delicious. Famous last words, maybe, but to me, it's always worth the risk as long as it tastes delicious in the moment. And it tastes delicious.
Kochuri is a deep-fried flatbread stuffed with a thin layer of ground green peas or sometimes lentils, and it's served with cholar dal, a mildly sweet split pea curry made with coconut, ginger, and other spices.
The dal is quite sweet.
Yeah, you're right, it's really sweet. I've not had a dal like that. That's sweet before. I wonder if they use like jaggery or something.
Okay, should we try the kochuri? So this is kochuri and ghugni. Ghugni is peas with coconut and stuff that we fell in love with in the village. I thought, because I'm an idiot, that he had served me luchi with ghugni because it looks very similar to me, who was only introduced to Bengali food last week. But he said these are stuffed. I'm going to be honest, it tastes just like luchi to me. Very good luchi, very good ghugni.
Oh man. This is why you travel to India. For food like this. It's so freaking good.
But don't leave your food out filming a dumb YouTube video for that long.
Unfazed by cockroaches and with absolutely zero regrets, we made a pit stop at the fish market.
Just one other thing I'll say about street food in India, like obviously pick the busy places, and that place, the whole time we were there was no fewer than 5 people in line. It's like 8:30 on a Thursday morning, so busy. However, if you dilly-dally and film a silly YouTube video, the cockroach will find your plate immediately.
Don't know what it is about a fish market, but you can always guarantee to find really good food. I think there's like multiple places around the world where we've been to a fish market and there's always like a fantastic food restaurant, street food, whatever.
Pete's right. There's something about fishermen that across the world they all seem to be foodies. And this guy, who had helped us locate the stall earlier, couldn't wait to hear what we thought about our breakfast.
If I was to work in a fish market, that's what shirt I would wear. Nice silk tumbler. Love it. Good style set.
When we were finished perusing the fish market, we hopped in an Uber headed for Tangra, Kolkata's own Chinatown.
What an adventure. This did not look like an area where there was going to be a restaurant. And then all of a sudden we started we spotted this sign. Let's hope it's open. I just saw a sign that said closed on Wednesday. Luckily it's Thursday.
So you might not know this about me if you're new here, but we lived in Mumbai for 2 years, and while there I created a street food tour with my colleague Asim. And so days like this, where the first 2 stops have just been so full of character and a little bit tricky to find, and the food's delicious. It's just my favorite way to travel, and so I don't know who this Aroni Mukherjee guy is, but I have a lot of respect for him because he's created a little itinerary for us. I hope he doesn't mind us putting his BBC article on YouTube. But I'm just so happy. This is like my perfect travel day so far.
Daddy, can you keep coloring this with me?
So the waiter was like, is that all you want? Do you want chili chicken? Do you want roast pork? And the answer is yes, I want all of those things. But we're eating at least 5, probably 6 places today, so unfortunately we have to pace ourselves. What we ordered is Singara chow. It's like a chow mein, but Singara is what they call like samosas here in West Bengal. And this is often referred to as Singara chow because some people observe that when you fold these wontons, it looks as if you're folding a samosa, a Singara. So let's try it. And I think it is breakfast, he said. It's open 8 to 12:30, and then again in the afternoon. It's just so crazy having like delicious Chinese food in India. I haven't really had that before.
Well, it's not that crazy. This is India's largest and only Chinatown, an area that traces back to the early 20th century when Chinese immigrants settled here, bringing along their culture, traditions, and of course, their food. Today, around 2,000 Chinese Indians live here, and you'll find a handful of restaurants offering up Indian Chinese dishes.
It's really porky, which is also like not a flavor I'm used to having very much in India. What a perfect morning.
If you're looking at this place on the map and you're seeing that it's a little bit on the edge outside of town, don't be put off. It is well worth it, and I know we're trying just one dish here, but I can just imagine lots of other people that having multiple dishes.
They only have 5 dishes, so you might as well order them all.
Just do it. It's an experience getting out here, seeing this little neighborhood's really fascinating, but food is really good.
And if you're going to the restaurant back here, it's like up there, it's a little bit flooded. That's my mommy.
And with that, on to our next stop.
Then we were on the hunt for what is potentially the most iconic Kolkata dish, the kati roll. But excuse us while we get a little confused on where to find it.
When we walked into our 3rd stop, Tandoor Park, it didn't feel quite right. It's not as atmospheric as the first 2 places, but we're here for a kati roll. Now this isn't Nizam's, which is the place that is credited with inventing the kati roll, but this is the one in the article that we are following, and he recommended it because it's classic. They're not doing any frills, any additions. But they don't have them in the restaurant. You actually are supposed to get them from the takeaway counter downstairs. So we're gonna have a fresh lime soda and a lassi, and then do that.
And 1 egg mutton roll.
So what's a kati roll? It's what you get when you take a flaky paratha and wrap it around some type of meat kebab, add some onion, some sauce if you wish, maybe a fried egg, and a squeeze of lime. Perfection.
That is so good. This is probably the best one I've ever had. It's so, I don't know, something about seeing it all being prepared and cooked. But this paratha is so flaky and delicious. And the flavors and everything that's going on in this. Crispy onions.
We had one. Soham brought us one at the start of our Durga Puja tour. That's a couple videos ago. I actually like that one better, and I don't know where it's from, but this is very good. I wish I didn't get whatever that red sauce is.
Ketchup, probably. Just my least favorite condiment of all time. Anyway, let's keep going. We had some downtime at the hotel while we waited for the afternoon spots to open up and for our stomachs to free up a bit more space. Don't get me wrong, we're professionals, but this is a lot of food in one day. The first stop after the break proved unsuccessful. Dilip Da seemed to have taken a break and his puchka stall sat empty.
Is this the place that we're going to go to?
Well, it's not open right now.
This is the place?
Yeah.
Oh, but if it was open, I was going to get one
yeah. Puchka is like pani puri. It's one of my favorite foods. He's clearly not open yet. It said 4, but by the looks of this street, this is also like an evening thing. Perhaps we'll try later. I will say of all of the things on the list, I was most nervous about pani puri. Pani's water, puchka, excuse me, because you dip it in water, which obviously you want to be very careful with. I was maybe planning on trying a dahi version, but it looks like there's no puchka in our future right now. However, we did get to have some puchka on our Durga Puja tour, which is a few videos back, and we were with a guide, Soham, who knows a vendor from his street food tour and actually makes it with mineral water. So if you want to see that, you can check out that video. I'm bummed about this though.
And that's when we went a little bit rogue. The BBC article was all about food, but with nothing to wash it all down. So that's why we added a pit stop to Broadway Bar.
This is our first time today going off script from the BBC article. This is Broadway Bar, and our friend Priyanka, who if you watch our next video recommended a few spots from here, said that this was a pretty classic bar. We love a classic bar. It is very atmospheric. I'm drinking a draft Edelweiss, where I guess is German, Austrian, I don't know, Indian?
It said domestic.
Yeah. Great. The best part is they allow Hayes to come.
Thirst quenched, we bid farewell to Broadway Hotel in search of prawn cutlet. This is Alan's, and it's been serving up British area recipes and classic Bengali dishes for over 100 years.
Love a tiny little restaurant.
This is Allen Restaurant. It's 140 years old. The outside says 125, the menu says 140. It's old. And we're here for prawn cutlet. Now the reason this one I think is special is because it's in pure ghee. It's like a freshwater prawn. I don't know. Looks good.
That's big.
Big. So in the article he described this as like a really good tempura batter / like the best fish and chips you've ever had. And I would say that's really accurate. Like it's a familiar taste, like fish and chips. But it's really crispy. I like that. I wasn't sure. I heard like big freshwater prawn. I saw them pull it out and it was like one massive prawn, like a langoustine, it was, I don't totally understand it, but the other thing that Kolkata I think is known for is an egg devil, which is like a Scotch egg. We wanted mutton, they didn't have that, but this is fish. It's not the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. No, it's also not the yummiest thing I don't know that one's for me.
I was very dubious about the fish and chip reference, but that's incredible. That tastes a lot like fish and chips.
Having completed all 5 stops on the chef's list, or at least attempting to, it was time to go rogue. In addition to the kati rolls, when I told Bengali friends we'd be visiting Kolkata, another dish they all insisted we try was Kolkata biryani.
We've gone off script again, but Pete loves biryani. So I don't know why I'm talking, but Pete loves biryani and Calcutta has their own version of biryani. We were told, again by Priyanka, to eat at one of 3 places. I think she said Nusrat, Arsalan, which is where we are, or Shiraz. I'm sure everybody has different opinions. This looks delicious. He said they were famous for their mutton biryani. I know I should be eating with my hands, but I don't want to right now.
What really sets Kolkata biryani apart is the potato. So I'll let you draw your own conclusions on if this is going to be the best biryani you can have in India.
That's good, thank you.
For me, any biryani is more or less good biryani, but this won't be among the most memorable things I ate in West Bengal.
When we lived in Mumbai, we used to order biryani probably like once or twice a week.
From where?
From a few places. Kanekas was one of them. We lived in Bandra, for any of you that know Kanekas. But what I used to add to it, which I think is like a must, is like chopped up crisps, like potato chips, and you just sort of like sprinkle them on top. It really finishes off the biryani.
People probably respected us up until this moment.
Let me know in the comments because I felt
It's like a Pop-Out in Kerala kind of situation.
yeah, adds a bit of crunch.
And a boo-boo baby.
What happened? So I went to the bathroom and now there's a flaming brownie on the wall.
What happened is that while I was in the restroom, Hayes charmed the waitstaff, something that's not particularly uncommon, resulting in a sizzling brownie being delivered to our table.
So, should we not go to ice cream?
No, I'm still going to ice cream.
Yep, lucky for Hayes, it was a 2-dessert night, but not without trying once more to get some puchkas.
Let the record show our commitment. We came back to Dilip's puchka stall. He's not here. But when we drove away from here the last time, we noticed just up the street was a natural ice cream, which is our favorite, and I think the perfect way to end
Ice
this,
cream! Ice cream!
to end this long day of eating.
No.
Been a little bit of a crisis. So this is natural. It's a Mumbai-based ice cream place, but it's obviously in other parts of India. It's our favorite ice cream. My go-to order is mango or coconut, or mango and coconut, but they have a seasonal ginger candy. I think I have to stray. May I have a cone of ginger candy, please?
I really love roasted almond, like that was my flavor.
No, you gotta go fruit. You gotta go mango coconut.
I know. Oh no, yeah, tender coconut I used to love as well.
Or the anjeer. You have anjeer?
Daddy.
Oh yeah, the anjeer is good.
Good and mango.
Pete reminded me to tell our natural story, which you probably heard if you've been watching our India videos for a while. But when we lived in Bandra, we could order delivery, and I could do it so quick that I would call them. They obviously would have your like information down. That I think my record is like 7 seconds. It would be like, hi, mango, 2 cones or whatever. And they would bring a tub of ice cream and the cones, and then I would be like, please don't break the cones. I think I had sent them back once when the cones were broken. Was it 7 seconds? What was the record? It was something crazy.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous, but this really is the best ice cream in the whole of India. I wish they would like go international.
And on that note, how did we do? What a perfect day. I'm exhausted. That was tough work. So, anyway, let us know how we did. What did we miss? What looked the best? We'd love to hear from you, and we will see you in the next video. We have just arrived back in Calcutta after spending 3 days in rural Bengal, and this afternoon we've decided to take it a little bit easy and explore the area around where we're staying here in Baliganj. And for our first stop, we've headed to one of the neighborhood's most iconic stops here at Garyahat Market. I don't know the significance of this market, except it was on every list. It's supposed to be a cool place to shop for stuff I don't particularly need, but it's fun to walk around and look at things.
Been to a lot of Indian markets, and this is a really nice chill one. It's not that bustling, and no one has really sort of like tried to pull me into their shop or like ask me to buy something. I really love that. This is actually a very nice experience, right?
It reminds me of Colombo Causeway, but in Colombo Causeway I would be annoyed by now.
Yeah, and that's a bit more touristy. This is like just feels like a normal market, but no one's trying to push anything, which is it's great. I think we're at the end of the monsoon season, but we're experiencing a little bit of rain here. But it's actually really nice and atmospheric. It's sort of like gently tapping on the roof inside this dimly lit market. It's kind of cool.
Very on brand that we breezed through the like shopping portion and immediately found a vegetable market.
So we're in the market. That's really nice. And back there, I think you saw that the cat was doing meow, meow. It was going next to mommy. She was There's like a lot of stuff here too. Yeah, cool. And it's raining. Yeah, you can see that out there. I can't really hear it because there's a lot of sounds in here. Sounds! Lots of coconuts. I love coconuts.
Seeing these like small oblong coconuts that Hayes is really curious about. So if anybody knows, I haven't seen coconuts like that. If anybody knows, let us know. We're headed to our next stop, but we didn't realize we were going to walk right past Cookie Jar, which my friend Priyanka, who grew up here, recommended. She said the pastries are great. She said she and her siblings got all of their birthday cakes here as a kid, and they still taste the same. And we travel with a 5-year-old who we sometimes bribe, motivate with sweet treats. Bengalis love sweets. I don't know why I'm justifying this so much. Let's go get something sweet.
I'm so excited to go.
Like these are beautiful cakes, but the smell in here is very savory. It's like kind of confusing me.
Let me get that one.
That's an eggless chocolate truffle pastry.
On that one.
Can I make a recommendation? It'll taste better with eggs.
Chocolate pyramid. Chocolate pyramid. Chocolate pyramid was really good, see?
I don't really know much Bengali, but I think he was basically telling me that it's closed.
So I think this is /will be Sienna Cafe. Anybody that I know that knows anything about Calcutta, frankly, people that know anything about India, recommended this place for their delicious food. There's also, I think, usually a shop attached. And their Instagram, they had been doing like a Durga Puja takeaway and delivery, so we came thinking maybe we could try something, but also they were posting things in the shop, so I thought maybe the shop was open, but clearly I was wrong. I also saw like a Condé Nast article where it was ranked number 5 restaurant in India. Highly raved about. We won't be getting to experience it this time, but Priyanka also recommended a shop across the street that we're going to check out. And this neighborhood in general, it is raining, which isn't ideal. It's very chill and like dotted with little shops and boutiques here and there. So all is not lost. If you come to Calcutta, hopefully this is open by the time that you get here.
This is definitely sweetness. We might be in here a while. I'll be absolutely shocked if we don't go home or something.
Excuse me, sir. Whose weakness?
I'm actually not even wearing one today, but I love shirts from India. I'm partial to Enoki. That's like my store where I always find really good shirts for myself. So good to have some good options here.
Matches your
Give us a spin. Easy, that was great.
That's a great shirt.
Do you like it?
Can I wear it on for the rest of the day?
Yeah. For the record, after all of that, Hayes is the only one that made a purchase here. How cute is his new shirt with a little Calcutta taxi on it? Not the most hospitable place we've been to. I think we overstayed our welcome. But our next stop is an old stalwart. I have to visit these in India, and I haven't been to one yet.
Kind of cool seeing the Durga Pujas coming down as well.
Durga Pujas?
Durga Pujas, is that not?
The pandals?
The pandals, I meant to say. But it just shows you how massive they are. It's so incredible. What happens to all this stuff? Didn't they like just store it and then use it again
In
for
the
next
water.
year? No, I know that. Durga's in the water, but the actual structures, like what happens to all of that bamboo and stuff? They're reusing it.
Before I totally understood Durga Puja, I was thinking that maybe when we came back to Calcutta from the villages, that even though it was over, we would like be able to catch some of the pandas. And then I realized when we were out in the village, that was our previous video, that of course we wouldn't because they are all in the water now. This stop was both a win and a loss. We found a hand block print cover for our sofa in Chiang Mai, which is a really terrible color orange. But the one thing I always come to Fab India for every 2 years or however often I'm here is this jasmine roll-on oil that smells so good. It's like $3. I put it in my bag, I carry it everywhere, it's great. And they only make a fancier one now that's $6 in glass, and it's jasmine and neroli, which I don't know what it is, but it doesn't smell as good. I always stock up, but I have like this much left in the one I got last time. Crimea River.
We haven't taken a rickshaw yet, so I don't know what's their etiquette, culture around haggling. Do they use a meter? Let's find out. This is always an entertaining aspect
We're never
of
as
traveling in
spoiled
India.
as we were in Mumbai.
You're just going to the metro. Oh, okay. Fine. So it turns out that what you need is a really friendly rickshaw driver, which this gentleman was, and his passenger who helped navigate us to get us to here. And it was only 15 rupees per person, which is great.
So this is Bari House. It's like Pete said, like a 10-minute rickshaw from wherever we were last, and it's an old heritage house. I think it opened last year, and I read a little bit about it, not enough to know a lot, except that the family that owned this didn't want to sell it to just anybody. They wanted it to be used and revived, and somebody bought it and turned it into a coffee shop on this floor. There's co-working space above us, and they say an Airbnb.
There's event space on the third, and then on the top floor, table.
So, coffee shop, co-working, event space, and Airbnb. It's really lovely. There's another one just down the road, maybe less than 10 minutes, called Bhawanipur House. Same concept, I think, and also I think redone in the last several years. So I don't actually know the name of this neighborhood. It's still South Kolkata. Is it still Valleygunj? I don't know. But a lovely place to have a hibiscus tea, some chai, and Hayes is enjoying their focaccia.
Right?
The big news from this place is that it inspired Hayes to eat tomatoes, which he eats once every 6 or 7 months. A win is a win.
So we've got one more stop in this neighborhood before we go back to our hotel for a little night swim and a beer. They have their own brewery inside the hotel. Anyway. Next stop is coming up around the corner. We'll show you when we get there. You want limca or thumbs up? Limca, right?
Oh, can I get that orange soda?
That wasn't the stop. That was the pre-stop. The stop is coming up. This is the stop.
Now? You're kidding me. I want one.
Royal Stag, right?
Yeah.
Have a old monk. Old monk. Old monk. Okay, you have a royal stag. No old monk. Royal stag.
I wanted to see if they had the old. You've always got to check at every little liquor store if. Oh, big bottle. Do we want that big? I guess we'll drink it, right?
There's nothing like an Indian liquor store to make you feel like you're up to no good.
Why does it make you feel like a criminal? I think part of it is the fact that you can't touch anything. Everything is behind this like.
It must be like living in Liverpool.
Perspex. Yeah, right. Just pulled one of these out of Pace's hair. And I was like, where is that from? And it's like, oh, from the side of the liquor store here. This is like the seals of the alcohol that everyone just rips off and then puts on the side of the building.
Well, what are they there for? And how did they get there? How did they get there, Mommy?
I'm not usually a hotel bar person, but the hotel we're staying at, the Hyatt Centric, not sponsored, just opened about a month ago a microbrewery that I'm going to tell you about after this, because otherwise I'd be competing with the tunes. Okay, so that was Cal On. We're staying at the Hyatt Centric. Sorry about the Velcro of my shoes. It opened, I don't know, like 5 months ago in Valleygunj, so it's pretty new, and that place opened only a month ago. We're staying here because the location's pretty good, and then we realized they have a microbrewery on the top floor, so that's what we went to check out. And the beer was not bad. I'm like blanking on what else I wanted to tell you. It's not a bad option. Oh, that's what it was. They don't allow kids, and they were really firm with that, but we begged. It's Tuesday night. It was really quiet. There's nobody in there, so we asked nicely downstairs. And now I think we'll close out a wonderful, very chill afternoon with a night swim. Apologies if this video has been a little bit uneventful. This is a pretty realistic depiction of what we do when we're not filming. It's just that we chose to film today. Anyway, see you at the pool.
Thanks for watching. Good night. Hey, we're going to the Sundarbans in a couple of days, so that'll be the next video.
Welcome to the Sundarbans.
Hiding in my far off distant plans, I see a house with people I don't know.
We have just made our way out here. Actually, yesterday we took a bus, then a ferry, then we did a sunset cruise. We saw some tribal dancing.
Why did they put that on your head, Mommy?
And now we have just set off on our full day safari on the hunt for tigers. I don't know if we're gonna see, but I think we're gonna see a lot of other really cool things. This guy's getting pretty confident with it. We should just check this phone.
Okay, I think we're coming to the entry point of the Sundarbans, the official entry point. We had to buy a tourist permit to come because this is a national park.
Say hi to you.
So I think this is where we go, stamp in, start our Sundarban journey.
Peter, how are you? You know, Mr. Hi.
Might be the closest we get today.
I haven't been in one of these like mass tourism India experiences in a while where we're ushered around like sheep. There's a turtle here though. Hey, did you see the turtle? So this is like definitely more domestic tourism for sure, but it's totally my speed because Pete and I are not big nature people. About 85% of our group has declined to even go up this watchtower. They're like, yeah, I don't feel like it. I love it.
Just had my first ABD photo shoot up at the top of the tower there.
Is your hat on?
No, I was wondering with a hair gone that with people. This is my friend here that's been taking photos of me. Also all the way down, another guy taking photos of me. Some aspects of Indian tourism that just need a little fine tuning. Right ahead.
I remember reading something way back when. Who will rescue me from this body of death?
I know, it feels very good. Great, downstairs there's like these 4 really big beds. But I don't know. This might not be our finest work. We've been in India, what, like 10 days now? You're bound to have a day where you just feel crummy. And I think today is that day for me, unfortunately. My stomach feels fine. I just feel like I got hit by a truck.
Means you might be hearing more from me in today's video, which I don't know if that's a good thing. But there is at least like 2 more stops, I think, on our little journey through the mangroves today. But yeah, I'm sorry. This, like Steph said, this is not going to be our finest vlog. I'm still enjoying it. It's very relaxing.
We are nobody's choice to deliver naturalist information.
That's true. You have a video diary? You have anything you want to say to the camera? Video diary. This is Hayes checking in.
Coming to our second stop of the day.
What do we see? All right, feel the energy in this video is a little low. Let me try and raise it up. We just came to our second stop where we're learning a little bit more about the mangroves, about the different types of roots. There's also a freshwater pond. There's also a saltwater pond over there that I was kind of learning about. And I saw a monitor lizard. Yeah. And now I just had some thunder. And I hope we can get back on our boat because I don't really want to be in a thunderstorm. Should we charge him for all these photos? Would have made like about 1,000 rupees, man.
More rare than the Bengal tiger.
It's blowing me.
It's lunchtime, and the good news is that Steph's got an appetite, so she's going to eat next. We're now at 5 River Junction, so it's 5 rivers meet together. There's a bunch of fishing boats. I think we've got one more stop, which is coming up, and it's called. I was looking at this before.
There's a cat on board.
Well, we haven't eaten fish. Okay. So we got one last stop. It's Dobanki Camp, and I think there is another watchtower there. There's also going to be an what do they call it? An elevated.
We don't need time at all here, do we?
Elevated walkway. Sorry.
Down in the hall again.
I think this is our last stop of the day, and it's a canopy walk. Concrete canopy walk, but
The funny thing about these things that are not as touristy, I mean, I know it's obviously a lot of tourists here, is that you're on a roller coaster. Like when we first turned up last night, I was like, oh my god, why don't people know about this? It's so gorgeous. And then sometimes you're also feeling like, okay. It's a good destination for us because we've been a lot of places. I wouldn't if you're deciding between this and Kerala or something. I think there's things in India that could be bigger priority, but that's tourism, right? For somebody that's a big naturalist, is that what you call it? Or is that somebody that's naked at hotels?
yeah, that's someone that's naked.
I think it's also somebody that likes nature. This could be heaven. So, the beauty of travel.
It's given me a strong sort of prison vibe. you can. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing canopy walk that I've been on, but
We don't mean to sound unappreciative. It's incredible. It's one of the largest mangroves in the world. I don't want to sound unappreciative in the slightest. I'm glad we came. I'm not feeling 100%. And I thought I would see a little bit more animals. I didn't expect to see a tiger. Both of us expected, and maybe this is our pathetic research as usual, but it's much wider than I thought everywhere. So I hear mangrove, and I've been in mangroves in Thailand and I think in India and other places, and I was thinking narrow and more greenery. So hours and hours. It gets a bit samey. It's very relaxing. I kind of wish it was like Xochimilco in Mexico City, those boats, so you could just have a party boat kind of day, but that's not the point.
this is our third watchtower. Come. You coming with us on this one? This might be my favourite. It's the most decorative. They are actually quite helpful, these watchtowers, because you get to see a little bit more of an elevated view of the mangrove.
You come from?
USA.
USA.
I also come from South Africa. Okay, it's all gotten very, very exciting because we've seen a cormorant and some deer. I've really, really wanted to see a crocodile. This is a net to keep out a tiger, we've just been told.
No, it's not.
I don't.
Why wouldn't the tiger go around this way?
Also, the tiger is getting. What would you do if a tiger just started coming towards us?
I'd feel really safe. Wouldn't you?
That tiger is not.
Hey, my friend, I swear I'll send a postcard from the road. Wish that you could be here too. It's harder than you know. Believe it.
It's hour 16 of us being on this boat, which is not accurate, but it's been a long day. We're just about to get back to our accommodation, which is the Sundarbans Tiger Roar Hotel. Yeah, we were going to show you the boat, but it's dark, so we'll show you in the morning.
Thank you. Good morning. It's our final morning here in the Sundarbans. We're about to get back on the boat to go to the bus to go back to Calcutta. I'm feeling 1,000% better today. I wish this was yesterday so that everything that you just watched had a little bit more energy and appreciation. But thanks for sticking around and making it this far.
Do you want to see our accommodation here? We're doing it right now. I have to go to the bathroom, so this is going to be a real quick one. Voila! It's our humble abode. In all seriousness, this has been great. They provided a little mattress on the floor for Hayes, had a little couch set up here, obviously the bed, air conditioning, which is a must because it is extremely humid and hot here, and then the bathroom. Bucket shower, or normal shower. You got options.
And I had a shower yesterday.
You did?
Yes.
I think one of the things this place advertised too is a big generator. So we did have a few power cuts because there was rain 2 nights ago and they never lasted for more than like a minute or two, which I appreciate. The other thing that is nice about Sundarbans Tiger Roar Resort is that their boats, I don't think they ever do more than about 20 or 25 people. Ours, I'm not sure had even 20. We definitely saw boats that were really crowded yesterday. We will tell you more about the logistics and how to choose and how to book maybe on the way home. But that was certainly a selling point in picking this place. I would not want to be on one of those boats, particularly that one that got stuck on the sandbank yesterday with tons and tons of people.
And now we start our longish journey back to Calcutta. Okay, should we give you a quick boat tour? Firstly, the name of our boat, this vessel is the Baba Dabendra 2. So that was probably a first. Down here is actually where Stephanie spent most of yesterday.
Can I do some?
Yeah.
So Daddy's about to show you. There's like 4 beds in here. Bathroom here if you want to go.
Oh, that's nice. He's not lying. There's actually.
Come over here. It's here, but no blankets. Yeah, it's not very good. There's the back here, the back area,
What's back there?
like this.
The
guy.
engine?
Yeah.
Hold on.
What?
There's other things in here.
Cabins.
There's also other beds here that I didn't notice. Patch down there. Just move back. Just move up to the front deck.
So he's not lying. There's lots of beds down here. This is actually really nice and really comfortable, especially when all the windows are open. I was saying to Steph yesterday, I think what would be actually a really cool way to do this whole area is by like just staying on the boat overnight, because the accommodation is great and the bathrooms are really nice. There's two here. Case will continue.
And there's a bathroom at the very back there too. There, like the same.
One picture of it.
Yeah. 1 second.
Here's the front deck where it's
No, I just want him after.
Yeah.
Here's the back of the boat, front deck. I don't know what these are to see in the window. And here are all the chairs. No, like glass windows, like free windows. I didn't notice that there. And this is where they cook some stuff for us. And down here, I haven't been down there yet. Goodbye, you move back onto Daddy.
So as you can see, it's actually really spacious and a great way to see the Sundarbans. So I mean, this has been a fantastic boat, and I know Steph's already mentioned it. The group size has been really nice and small as well. We've got to know people. We've got our friends from Kerala. Hi. There's also some people from Mumbai, from Calcutta. So it's been a really nice little group, and yeah, we've enjoyed our journey, right?
He's more excited.
Good morning from Calcutta. Pete and I have made over 250 videos here on YouTube, but if you ask which one was our favorite, it is without a doubt, hands down, this little video we made last year called Love Letter to Mumbai, where we wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go ride bikes around the city as it's waking up. And it made us think a lot about that relationship we have with Mumbai and the ability to get to know a city slowly over time and develop a great appreciation for it. And we obviously can't write a love letter to Calcutta because it's our first time visiting the city, but we did wonder if we give it that same chance and we wake up early, will it be a special experience that will allow us to appreciate the city even more? I don't know. So let's see what happens.
So, at 5 a.m. we found ourselves at Kolkata's iconic Malik Ghat flower market, located right beneath Howrah Bridge. This market is one of the largest in India, bustling with vendors selling all kinds of flowers, from marigolds to jasmine. The flowers are used in everything from daily offerings at temples to the grand decorations for Durga Puja and other festivals. I don't know how many flowers the over 2,000 vendors at this market must sell daily, but I assure you that I cannot count that high.
One thing I will say about visiting an Indian city before sunrise is that I've already seen more people this morning, perhaps just on that bridge, than I see in my hometown in, I don't know, a week. It's like 5:15 in the morning.
So amazing, isn't it? Something about this time in the morning in India.
This would be a good time to mention that if you watched our Durga Puja video a few weeks ago, Soham, who runs the company Calcutta Capsule, does offer an early morning magic hour tour in Calcutta, and we actually were hoping that he would join us today, but he had to deal with some family emergencies. So I will leave a link to his company in the description, because we don't know very much about the places we'll be visiting this morning, and it would be beneficial to come with a local guide.
Thank you. So that bag that we just bought of flowers cost us 10 rupees. I would have been willing to pay like 50 or more. Like, I don't know how much stuff costs. People here have been so honest when it comes to paying for stuff when you don't know the price, and sometimes I don't know how much they're saying. It's really nice. I had a handful of money and he just took out the 10 rupees.
As the sun began to rise, we decided to keep moving and headed over to the iconic Howrah Bridge to see the city from another angle.
across the Howrah Bridge, and I read online that 150,000 pedestrians and 100,000 vehicles cross this every day. But as I thought about saying that on YouTube, I thought about the comments, hopefully, if people are watching this, telling me like that was a really low estimate. It just feels like maybe it's even more.
Out of that 150,000, how many of them are like carrying huge loads of cargo on their head? You've seen those carts over there as well, that people are like hand pulling carts full of stuff. We came over this bridge the other day and I noticed like just how many people, like pedestrians, use it because it's really close to the train station, so I guess a lot of people, you know, use it to go into the city. I mean, this really is like the main artery into Calcutta, and like you're just seeing so much life.
No matter how many hundreds of thousands of people cross this bridge a day, the Howrah Bridge is more than just a vital transport link. It's a symbol of Kolkata's spirit and resilience. Connecting the bustling Howrah station to the heart of the city, it represents the heartbeat of Calcutta, its daily rhythm, history, and energy. This iconic structure has stood for decades as a testament to the city's growth and cultural identity. But enough about that. With the bridge behind us, we were on a mission to find a boat.
That's amazing. Okay, I'm flying a little bit blind here, I must admit. I don't know if this is traditionally where you get a boat to go down the river. I'm trying to get to a Princep Ghat, and that's where you can hire a lot of boats there. Something that's happening for us here.
Failing to find a boat in that area, we crossed the Howrah Bridge again, but this time in a taxi.
Look at these panda-themed trash cans.
I don't know that I've ever seen a trash can in India. By the way, so we weren't able to get the boat from where we wanted to. Then we thought maybe we could get one from Babu Ghat to Princep Ghat. That didn't seem possible, so now we're walking to Princep Ghat. I think we definitely can get the little touristy boat. But the good news is that there's a nice green walkway along the river that's pretty lovely.
And this is what locals do. They come for a stroll on the... As if you'd already just said that.
No.
Oh. But... with...
Daddy, why do you find like trash? What are all these little things? Aww, puppy.
I'm following your footprints. I am clinging to your voice.
Look at these puppies.
Don't fade away, don't fade away.
Some of you might be wondering if it's a good idea to wake a kid up at 4 o'clock in the morning and drag them around the city. And the answer is no. This experiment is not proving to be particularly successful on Hayes. And I thought it was all going wrong in our struggle to get a boat, but we just saw puppies and we have space and greenery for the first time this morning. And Hayes has actually perked up quite a bit. Monkey. Dolphins!
I think I might have found a boat.
Just looking up!
Finally.
Joke's on us. Still no boat. It'll happen. I promise.
We're about to go on the boat, and I'm gonna help Mommy use my GoPro. So just come on.
We finally got on a boat. And just going down there. This is like part of the Ganges, right? This is the Hooghly River, but the Ganges, I guess, flows into it. And we were seeing on the side of the bank, it's like a ton of like Durga Puja pandals, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess a pandal's a temple. There's a ton of Durgas.
There was a ton of Durgas, which was pretty cool to see.
Washed up.
And also say that we're gonna throw the flowers.
You say that.
We're also throwing some flowers off the boat.
This traditional Bengali wooden boat is called a noka, and it's commonly seen on this river and other waterways across Bengal. These boats, often rowed or powered by small motors, have a distinctive curved shape and are used for a variety of purposes, from fishing and ferrying passengers to transporting goods. They're also great for a sunrise leisure cruise, provided you follow the internet's advice for which docks to find them at and not your own whims.
That was cool. And totally worth it, even though it was just 30 minutes. Perfect. I got lost in the magic of the river.
Look at those rats. There's so many.
We finally tore Hayes away from the rats, with the promise that we only had one more stop between him and breakfast. And as we explained to Hayes, we had a pretty building to go look at. Thank you. There she is. What do you think of that building, though?
It's all over.
Is it pretty or not?
I don't care.
Despite Hayes' succinct but definitive thoughts on colonialism, we purchased a ticket to the Victoria Memorial Gardens.
This is your property because your British persons is build up this Victoria. Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So one thing I don't know for sure, because I've never been here, but a perk of exploring this early, as much as we love Mumbai, I can tell you my least favorite part, and I would think many people's least favorite part of Mumbai is the Gateway of India, because it's so crowded. I don't know if this gets super crowded. I can imagine that when it's not 7 a.m. or whatever it is, that it does. But right now, it's so peaceful. And obviously we're not going inside, it doesn't open until 10, but you can come and explore the gardens for 30 rupees. And my friend Priyanka recommended we have a picnic here one morning. It is actually so gorgeous. Thanks, Victoria.
I guess we should tell you what this place actually is. It's the Victoria Memorial, and it was built between 1906 and 1921 to honor Queen Victoria and stands as a symbol of the British Raj in India. It's the largest monument dedicated to a monarch in the entire world. Cool.
You pining for the good old days?
Stephanie, be quiet, please.
And just under 4 hours later, and having seen a full day's worth of sights, we were headed back to our hotel. Speaking of our hotel,
Cheers. As much as I love getting out and doing stuff like that, I also really love a hotel breakfast, particularly an Indian hotel breakfast. The nice part about sightseeing that early in the morning is we made it back in time for breakfast. This isn't sponsored, but we're staying at the ITC Bengal.
What do you mean to say if you wrap breakfast? We did a couple stops like 3. And there's a sign moose here right there. See? With those white things there. Our coast is here. And we can all relax and eat breakfast. Boom!
So we had a really good rate at the ITC Bengal, and the rate also included cocktail hour in the evening, so I was sold. So we're having an extravagant breakfast. It's lovely. My first round is upma, some like Mexican burrito situation, and some chicken dumplings. I think we're about to have a rawa dosa. Anyway, I think this is our last video in Calcutta, and it was a really fun way to end our time in the city. But if you found us on this video and you enjoyed this, we filmed 5 more videos from this trip to India. We were here for Durga Puja, we did a street food day in Calcutta, we went out to the villages, we went to the Sundarbans. We have had a really wonderful 2 weeks in and around Calcutta, and we appreciate you watching videos like this one. Have I fallen in love with Kolkata? Not like Mumbai, but if I gave it some time, I think I probably did.
I'm a furious tiger. Ah!